A former Mountaineer now has a home in the WNBA. I'm Georgia Hensley.
And I'm Tanner Mounts. Fairmont, West Virginia is making way for new recreational opportunities.
These stories and more coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, a sports magazine show produced by sports and adventure media students right here at West Virginia University.
Georgia, youth sports remain one of the most popular extracurricular activities for kids ages 6 to 17, but they can come with a hefty price tag.
In 2024, Tanner, families in the U.S. spent nearly $1,500 to support a single-child sports experiences.
That's a 24% increase in just 5 years, nearly double the rate of inflation over the same period.
But now, President Donald Trump's proposed international tariffs could raise the price on sporting equipment and apparel even more.
Senior correspondent Brian McQuillan joins us live in the studio to tell us more. Brian?
Thanks, Tanner. Georgia, President Trump spent his 2024 campaign talking about the tariffs he would implement on foreign goods. And this month, they took effect for some countries. Most saw a 10% tax on the products they ship to the U.S., but China, which manufactures an estimated 40% of the world's sporting goods, saw more than a 100% tariff. Economists say those costs will be passed down to consumers, making playing sports even more expensive. President Trump has implemented a 90-day pause on some of the highest targeted tariffs for countries like Japan and Korea. But local sporting goods stores say the extension has created more uncertainty in their businesses.
Thanks, Brian. During the WNBA draft, one Mountaineer heard her name called in the 3rd round.
WVU's J.J. Quinterly was selected with the 27th overall pick by the Dallas Wings.
She is the 11th player in program history to be drafted by a WNBA team, and the first since 2021. Quinterly became the first player in WVU women's hoops history to record more than 2,000 points and more than 300 rebounds, steals, and assists. She ended her 4-year career at West Virginia as a 2-time Big 12 Conference Defensive Player of the Year. The Dallas Wings open up preseason action on May 2nd.
While the women's team says goodbye to their star player, the men's basketball program welcomes a new head coach.
WVU Athletics Director Ren Baker announced earlier this month Ross Hodge is the new man in charge of the Mountaineers.
Joey Bray joins us live in the studio for his segment, Coach's Corner, to tell us about Hodge's journey to Morgantown. Joey?
Thanks, Georgia. Tanner, Ross Hodge, who agreed to a 5-year deal with WVU, is considered one of the nation's top defensive masterminds. The only program that allowed fewer points per game than Hodge's North Texas squads over the last 5 seasons combined was his new Big 12 foe, Houston. But the stats aren't the only thing that has fans excited for the Hodge era. Despite being the last Power 4 team with a vacancy to name a head coach, the rebuild is already in progress. In less than a month in his new position, Hodge has already signed 7 players and announced 2 of his former UNT assistant coaches will join him in Morgantown.
Thanks, Joey. Coach Hodge isn't the only new face for WVU fans to get used to, Georgia. On the April 4th passing of the rifle ceremony, the university officially welcomed its new mascot.
Braden Adkins, the 70th Mountaineer mascot, officially handed off the mascot duties to Cade Kincaid. Kincaid was named the 71st Mountaineer back in March and began his tenure at the WVU Spring Showcase. The Fayetteville native was one of 4 finalists for the position in 2024, but ultimately lost out to Adkins. That setback only made Kincaid more determined.
Just that competitive edge of not liking to lose, and I realized the reasons that I lost were because I had a message and I had a reason that I wanted to be the Mountaineer, but I wasn't portraying it in the right way. So figuring that out helped me get to where I am now.
Over the next year, Kincaid will do much more than attend WVU home games. The Mountaineer mascot will travel all across the state for an estimated 250 additional events, all while being a full-time student.
Kaylee McCabe is considered one of the most decorated female athletes in WVU history, Georgia.
That's right. The distance runner has plenty of trophies to back up that claim, Tanner, including a national championship.
McCabe's collegiate career has also seen a combined 8 Big 12 titles.
Our track and field reporter Luke Blaine tells us how the Morgantown terrain has contributed to her success. Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, we'll introduce you to one West Virginia native who is making the most of his opportunity with WVU baseball.
This story and more after the break.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. Tanner, Formula One, the highest class of open-wheel racing, has seen a surge in viewership since 2018.
And Georgia, ESPN reports that around 600,000 viewers tuned in that year. By 2024, that number had doubled.
This boom in popularity is sparking new interest among younger fans,
including some at the engineering campus here at West Virginia University.
Our campus reporter Tyler Carlbon joins us from the Evansdale campus to introduce us to students who are jump-starting their career. Tyler.
On the other side of the Evansdale campus, the students in the School of Sports Sciences are also gaining real-world experience in a brand new facility.
That's right, Tanner. While it was created for the team, the WVU Baseball Biomechanics and Performance Center doesn't just benefit the athletes who train inside.
Our sports culture and economics reporter Trent Lewis joins us live in the studio with a closer look at what this new facility means for students. Trent?
Thanks, Tanner. Georgia. The facility has officially been up and running since March and is bringing together education and athletics like never before, giving students a unique hands-on opportunity to explore the science behind the sport. Head coach Steve Sabins, WVU will be the first university in the country to have a full-time biomechanist dedicated to baseball. His team used the facility pregame for the first time on March 22nd during a rain delay. He credited the technology inside for keeping his team game ready.
Thanks, Trent. The new facility is expected to elevate WVU's hitting as it features 2 full-size batting lanes.
And it looks like it's doing its job, Georgia, as the baseball team currently holds the second-best team batting average in the Big 12.
Leading the way, Tanner, is senior outfielder Jace Reinhardt, a Mannington native who is a key part of the team's success at the plate this season.
Our baseball reporter Connor Roberts has the story of Reinhardt's journey to Morgantown.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, we'll step onto the strip with WVU fencing to see how the club is trying to grow its popularity.
This story and more coming up. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. Tanner, a WVU club team, is keeping alive a sport that traces its roots all the way back to the 1400s, fencing.
More than 10,000 youth members have joined USA Fencing since the 2016-17 season, Georgia. I took a closer look at the club hoping to contribute to that growth.
In West Virginia, mountain biking is truly a 4-season activity, Tanner.
According to the Sports and Fitness Industry Association, nearly 9 million people went off-road biking in 2022, Georgia.
That's nearly a 30% increase in riders since 2007.
Our adventure reporter Emily Beckner joins us from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center with more on the growing industry. Emily?
Thanks, Tanner. Georgia. The first mountain bike race in West Virginia took place in 1983 as part of the Canaan Mountain Series, drawing in racers from across the country. Since then, the state's biking scene has continued to grow, contributing over $2.6 million in tourist revenue through biking events in 2022 alone. West Virginia continues to invest in mountain biking, with Cacapon State Park adding 35 miles of professionally designed routes. It's the largest project of its kind in state history and is expected to be completed in 2026. Tanner, Georgia, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Emily. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Mountaineer Playbook, an Emmy-nominated sports magazine show where we dive into inspiring stories of coaches, players, and passionate fans who make the sports world truly remarkable. I'm Georgia Hensley.
And I'm Tanner Mounts. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook at Mountaineer Playbook. You can also stream our shows on HD Media's websites and watch our broadcast on Sunday evenings at 6:30 on West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Thank you for joining us this semester here on Mountaineer Playbook.
One WVU tradition is ushering in a new era as the university welcomes its next Mountaineer mascot. I'm Tanner Mounts.
And I'm Georgia Hensley. A new system is in place to make getting basketball season tickets more dynamic than ever.
These stories and more coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, a sports magazine show produced by sports and adventure media students right here at West Virginia University.
It was a disappointing postseason run for the WVU men's basketball team. It went one and done in the Big 12 tournament and was one of the first 4 teams left out of the big dance.
Just days later, the program was searching for a new head coach after Darren DeVries had moved on to Indiana following just 1 season with the Mountaineers.
Now, for the 3rd time in as many years, the program has a new leader. Ross Hodge. He brings a defensive mindset and a winning record to Morgantown.
WVU Athletic Director Ren Baker says he's confident in this hire, praising Hodge's toughness and grit. Baker added, quote, "Mountaineer Nation will love the passion his players bring to the game," end quote. Hodge was officially introduced as the program's 24th head coach on April 3rd, following his run to the NIT semifinals with North Texas. He was with the Mean Green for 8 seasons.
The West Virginia Rifle team spent most of the season as the top-ranked team in the country. And Tanner, that's the exact spot they finished the year.
For the 20th time in program history, Georgia, the Mountaineers are national champions. John Hammond's team hoisted the trophy after edging out Kentucky by just 1 point. This redemption run comes after the squad's heartbreaking runner-up finish last year as the tournament host. This is the program's 7th title under Hammond's leadership.
It's difficult to win a national championship. I mean, I'm not going to say that we took it for granted when we were having a lot of success 10 years ago, but you realize it's very difficult. A lot of things can just easily go your way or go against you. And
the Mountaineers made 45 NCAA championship appearances throughout the program's history, finishing in the top 2 an impressive 30 times. This is their first title since 2017.
WVU's success spans beyond its varsity sports. The club basketball team is representing the Mountaineers at its national tournament.
And Georgia, I had the chance to speak to the team's head coach, who's looking to make a difference from a new point of view on the court this season.
Meanwhile, the WVU men's basketball team has turned its attention to the 2025-26 season, including a new way to purchase season tickets.
Men's hoops is one of the highest revenue-generating sports in the University City, Georgia. To maximize its profits, the athletic department has changed its approach for its prime seating locations.
Our sports culture and economics reporter Trent Lewis joins us live in the studio to tell us more. Trent?
Thanks, Georgia. Tanner, since the NCAA began allowing athletes to earn compensation in 2021, universities have been searching for ways to adapt to the shift in college sports. Here at WVU, a new ticketing model is being introduced to address these rising expenses, affecting both the fan experience and the overall financial structure of Mountaineer athletics. Under the new model, 30% of season ticket holders will experience no change or even a decrease in their overall cost, while 50% will experience an increase of less than $250.
Thanks, Trent. The Mountaineer mascot is one of West Virginia's longest traditions. In 2019, the mascot program changed its policy to a 1-year limit, allowing for more students to take on the cherished role. Now, a new face prepares to do just that. The passing of the rifle ceremony is set for April 4th. Kincaid will officially begin his duties as the 71st mascot the following day at the Spring Football Showcase.
The WVU gymnastics team is tumbling their way into the NCAA tournament. The Mountaineers are headed to State College, Pennsylvania to compete in the 2025 Gymnastics Regionals. This marks their 9th qualification in the last 11 years and 44th regional championship appearance overall. WVU is one of 9 teams in the Pennsylvania Regional, including number 1 LSU, number 8 Michigan State, and number 9 Kentucky. The Mountaineers will face Maryland in the first round. The two teams last met in 2023 in Morgantown.
Well, we have to pick up the intensity a little bit, so we don't want to reinvent the wheel. What we've been doing has been working, but obviously going into a regional like this, we've got to be even more prepared. We have to go up against Maryland in the playing round, and the goal is going to be to beat them and advance out of that. So we've got to pick up the intensity a little bit.
Senior Anna Lee and freshman Carly DiCello and Sophia Rice were selected as the Mountaineers' individual event specialists. The Pennsylvania Regional runs April 2nd through the 6th.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, we'll take you to the Diamond, where WVU's new baseball coach is shaping the future of the program.
We will also introduce you to a star player on the WVU esports team who is bringing in talent and fans.
These stories and more after the break.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. After a historic 2024 run to the Super Regionals and Randy Mazey's final season at the helm, the WVU baseball team is picking up right where it left off under Steve Sabins.
Tanner, as Mazey's longtime assistant, it should come as no surprise that Sabins has the Mountaineers off to one of their best starts in program history. They enter the month of April with a 22-4 record.
Joey Bray joins us live in the studio for his segment, Coach's Corner. To tell us about Sabins' early success, Joey?
Thanks, Tanner. Georgia, Sabins has contributed to some of the best seasons in the last decade, and it seems that isn't changing anytime soon. In his debut as the head coach, the Mountaineers opened with 13 consecutive wins, the most to start a season for a first-year head coach in program history. At the midpoint of the season, Sabins is proving that even with his new title, it's the same winning standard. Entering the month of April, WVU needs just 14 more wins to match last year's total. The Mountaineers were picked to finish 4th in the Big 12 this season, their highest ranking in the preseason poll since joining the league.
Thanks, Joey. Over the last decade, WVU's center fielders have received national attention for their play at the position, including Victor Scott.
Scott is in his second year with the St. Louis Cardinals, Georgia, and has been named their starting center fielder.
After Scott's departure, Skylar King took over that role full-time last season. And so far, he's living up to the expectations of the position.
Our baseball reporter, Connor Roberts, joins us live in the studio with a closer look at King's journey. Connor?
Thanks, Tanner. Georgia, from limited playing time as a true freshman to a game changer as a junior, Skylar King has elevated his game. With a relentless work ethic and a refined approach at the plate, he's become a crucial piece in WVU's impressive start to the season. King has already made some highlight reel catches in center field this season and is top 3 in several offensive categories for the Mountaineers. He ended the month of March tied for the team lead in hits, and his .372 average is number 2, just behind Sam White. He's the only player who has started every game so far this season.
Thanks, Connor. Esports is a rapidly growing industry in the U.S.
In Georgia, competitive video games have been around since the early 80s, but were not formally introduced into college sports until 2014.
A decade later, Tanner, there are more than 260 universities within the National Association of Collegiate Esports.
WVU began supporting virtual sports in 2021 and has secured multiple championships since.
Our esports reporter Ellie Rhodes tells us about how one player is leveling up the team's popularity.
After the break on Mountaineer Playbook, we'll take a look at a brand new ice rink in the works and what it can mean for the community.
Plus, we'll explore the West Virginia Waterfall Trail, a scenic adventure that's drawing in nature lovers from all over.
These stories coming up next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. Tanner, now that spring is officially here, it's time to say goodbye to the winter sports that kept us active and entertained during the colder months.
For local hockey teams, Georgia, the season ended even earlier. The Morgantown Ice Arena closed on February 3rd for renovations, cutting the skating season short.
Our community reporter Camden Bellotti tells us about the multi-million-dollar makeover that's happening at Milan Park.
Georgia, Morgantown isn't the only place investing in itself. The entire state of West Virginia has taken great strides in improving its travel industry.
That's right, Tanner. Since 2017, the Mountain State has tripled its annual budget for the Department of Tourism, and it's now seeing a return on its investment.
Currently, out-of-state visitors spend nearly $17 million per day in the state, making West Virginia one of the fastest growing tourist markets in the nation.
Our adventure reporter Emily Beckner joins us from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us about one special activity that is bringing in visitors. Emily?
Thanks, Georgia. Tanner. Outdoor recreation is a major part of West Virginia's economy, supporting more than 20,000 jobs and generating approximately $2.1 billion annually. To further boost visitors, the West Virginia Tourism Office created a unique attraction, the statewide waterfall trail. I took a trip to a few spots along the trail that is the only one of its kind in the nation. To download your own virtual passport, visit the link on your screen. It will guide you in planning out your own trip to see the falling waters of West Virginia. And you can even obtain prizes for checking into key landmarks in the state. Georgia, Tanner, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Mountaineer Playbook, an Emmy-nominated sports magazine show where we dive into inspiring stories of coaches, players, and passionate fans who make the sports world truly remarkable. I'm Tanner Mounts.
And I'm Georgia Hensley. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook at Mountaineer Playbook. You can also stream our shows on HD Media's websites and watch our broadcasts on Sunday evenings at 6:30 on West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Thank you for watching, and don't miss the chance to celebrate the heart and soul of the game with us next time on Mountaineer Playbook.